What up, brawlers? Welcome back to Throwing Hands. It's just me today. Daniel has some quarantine stuff going on with COVID, so it's been rough for him. So he's just getting rearranging stuff for his real job. So just me today. So yeah, it'll be fun. Had to close the door there, but all right, let's just kick it off. So there's a couple fights on the prelim. This is one of the best prelim cards I've seen in a hot minute. You know, you have Ronda Marcos versus Kanako Murata. She's coming in for the first time. Luis Smolka, Jose Quinones, Alex Morono versus Reese McKee. He fought Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams beat him, and Chaos is performing in the co-main. Ashley Yoder versus Miranda Granger. Yoder trying to get back on track, and Miranda Granger, she's 7-1. She's looking to make a name for herself here. But let's talk about this fight a little bit. Brendan Allen versus Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland, he fought fairly recently, I believe. Yes, he fought against Marshman. That is correct. About 2 weeks ago. But hey, stepping in on short notice against Brendan Allen, whose opponent got sick last week with COVID. Let's hope he gets better. But expect this to be a banger. I think this will be a really good fight. I think Brendan Allen will take it. Sean Strickland, he's coming off a weight cut just 2 weeks prior, as is Brendan Allen. It'll be a good fight. This is a fight of night candidate right here. But let's head over to the main card. One thing missing from the main card is Julian Marquez's fight. His opponent got sick after the weight cut, so he couldn't do it. He hasn't fought in 28 months, so I know he's itching to get back in there. He came on the podcast. But speaking of another guy who came on the podcast, Eric Anders versus Antonio Arroyo. This is a great matchup. Antonio Arroyo coming off, he won on the Contender Series. He lost his last fight, but Eric Anders is a little bit on the decline. He's getting into his older age. He came on the podcast, but he seems like he's doing better. So I think he'll do well in this fight. But when we talk about Eric Anders, former Alabama football player, he has KO power. He has an MMA style. He doesn't really he leans towards striking more, but he's a stereotypical football player who came into MMA. He's very strong, and he's looking to get back on track after that Christoph Jocko loss. But let's talk about Arroyo. This dude kicks like a mule. If you've seen his kicks, he just puts you out. He's only had one head kick KO, but he kicks hard. He has a great submission game too. It's very sneaky and it's very technical. I love watching him fight. And he's also very diverse. Big challenge for Eric Anders. I think Eric Anders' best interest is to keep this on the feet. But Antonio Arroyo can bang on the feet too. And if he decides to, he can take it to the ground. So I'm going to take Arroyo in this fight. Don't get me wrong. I love Eric Anders. But I don't think he has the skill level to match with Arroyo. All right. To two young women in this in the UFC, Kay Hansen versus Corey McKenna. Corey McKenna coming off a very impressive win in the Contender Series at just 21. I'm surprised Dana let her on at such a young age, but he must see something in her, and I trust Uncle Dana. She's 5-1 coming out of the United Kingdom, Scotland specifically, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Wales. I'm sorry, but I'm not too up on that. But when we talk about her, she's 21. She's somewhat diverse. She usually likes to stand in and bang with you. She's gotten 40% of her wins by KO and 40% by decision. So she has like a 2-to-2-to-1 ratio when it comes to knockouts, decisions, and subs respectively. But let's talk about Kay Hansen here. She's very good, coming off a very impressive debut win against Jin Yu Fry. She's a great wrestler, great jiu-jitsu, great grappling. She's top-notch when it comes to that, and I think that's what will carry her in a UFC career. She's as good as it gets for a prospect her age in the women's division of the UFC. But yeah, she's great. So we're going to talk about keys here. Corey McKenna's best interest is definitely keep the standing. I think she has to slow this pace down, pick her shots, be precise, and I think she'll get this win over Kay Hansen if she does that. But I don't think Kay Hansen will allow that. I think she'll get this one to the ground immediately and just start working. She's very patient. She doesn't rush. I think she'll get the job done. I think she'll get this win by submission. Alrighty, to the next bout of the card. Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Chaos Williams. Abdul Razak Al Hassan at the Judo Thunder, and I think that applies very well to this guy. This guy will put you out as quickly as anyone There is. If you look at his sure dog, if you look at his topology, it's literally just KO, KO, TKO, TKO, and he has 2 losses in there. But he hits like Mike Tyson. He will put your lights out. He's very aggressive, and he sometimes leaves himself open, which I think will be a problem going up against the Ox fighter, Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams, great movement. He has power and precision. He mixes in takedowns. He fakes takedowns to set up his shots. Excuse me. But Williams is very good at what he does. He also has a submission on his record, so he has no problem going to the ground. But Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, he has that judo background, so he can compete on the ground too if he gets there. But, yeah, I mean, and then Chaos Williams, these stats are not right. But like I said, Al-Hassan leaves himself open. He absorbs 4.5 strikes a minute. So he's not – and his Chaos Williams' takedown defense is 75% compared to Al-Hassan's 59%. So Chaos Williams might have the advantage on the ground there. So let's head to keys. I think Abdul Razak Al-Hassan has to slow himself down. He cannot leave himself open to somebody like Chaos, who's as precise and powerful as he is. You can't do that. So I think what Chaos is going to have to do is obviously pick and choose his shots, mix in some takedowns, and I think he'll get this win by decision. Chaos Williams by decision. But if he lets himself open just a little bit, Al-Hassan will knock him out cold. All right, to the main event of the evening. Paul Felder coming in on 4 days' notice or something like that, going up against the guy, Walmart Freddie Mercury and Rafael dos Anjos. I'm not too off there, I don't think. But when we talk about Paul Felder, he's as exciting as it gets. He likes to stand in and bang. He's exciting. If you watch that Dan Hooker fight, that's a top 5 fight of the year, in my opinion. Fight of the year, in my opinion, is Hooker Poirier, by the way. See, Hooker just is a magnet for fights. Fight of the years, fight of the nights. But we're not talking about Dan Hooker. We're talking about Paul Felder. The Irish Dragon, creative striking. He has great conditioning. Apparently, he's at his conditioning peak according to the test that he took this week because he's been swimming and biking. So it's really interesting. I'm just curious to see how this very quick weight cut will affect him. He had to lose 14 pounds in a very, very short amount of time. So that'll be very interesting to see. But when we talk about Walmart Freddie Mercury and Rafael dos Anjos, he's a legend. You can't take that away from him. Diverse. He has a black Prajid in Muay Thai, and I think he's a 4th degree black belt. Almost knocked down my water bottle there. A 4th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So he can get it done anywhere. He hits hard. He's Muay Thai. Do you know a Muay Thai guy who doesn't hit hard? Let's be real here. But a diverse finishing ability, like I said. Crafty submissions, smart and experienced. I think that experience at welterweight, fighting bigger guys will help him propel himself back up to the top in the lightweight division. So keys, I think Paul Felder is going to have to avoid the ground at all costs. With his conditioning, I'm sure he's in great condition, but being on the ground is tiring and tough. So I think Rafael dos Anjos will have the advantage when it comes to conditioning, and I think he can put it wherever he wants, but I think he's going to put it on the ground. I think he'll get this win by submission. So that'll do it for the card part of the show. Dontel Mays versus Rock Martinez. That'll be a good fight. Yeah, this card, there's not too many big names, but if you look at these matchups, these are great matchups. You guys shouldn't have a problem with any of these matchups. It's going to be great. So, excuse me. What fight got made? Rakic versus Santos. First week of March, if I'm not mistaken, they're fighting. So that's something to look forward to. This might have some implications. This might get Rakic's title shot. Glover should get it anyway. But there's not too much news, but I'm excited for that fight. Overeem versus Alexander Volkov. That could shake some things up. If Overeem gets this win, he's right there for another title shot. So, Overeem, he'll be 41, 40 by the time the next fight comes around. So it's crazy, but he's peaking. I think his experience and his fight IQ is going up. He knows what he's doing, guys. All right. So, you know what? that's a good place to stop. That'll do it for us here on Throwing Hands. This I know this was a quickie, but we had to get a preview out. I forgot to upload the last preview. I mean, you got to give me a break in 1 in 80 episodes or whatnot. So I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you for an interview with Mr. Sabatello. He fought on the Contender Series on Tuesday, the 10th. So yeah, cool interview, great guy. I had a blast with him afterwards. But we'll see you guys next time.